Have you ever been arrested? What for? Woo. Now, yes, I have been arrested one time.
Oh.
And so...
All right, we back again with another episode of the Straight to It podcast. Look, make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you don't hit that notification bell, it's no way you're going to know when I drop a video. Look, we have another amazing special guest with us today. I'm so excited she here. She came through. Please tell everybody your name. Because I don't mess up so many names. I'm not even finna do myself like that. Please tell them about who you are.
Well, when I say it, you're going to be like, yep. Yep. But hey, y'all, I'm Kween Jasira.
Jasira, I said, dang, I would have been so proud of myself if I would have just said it with confidence.
Exactly. Believe in yourself.
I appreciate you coming through to the Straight to It podcast, messing with me, showing up.
I appreciate you having me. I've been looking forward to this for a few weeks.
Oh, yeah, me too. I've been waiting to meet you, so I'm glad you came. Speaking of your name, let's start with that.
Okay.
Is there a meaning to it? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with it.
So Kween, of course, I mean, everybody knows what Kween is, but I just spell it differently. Kween.
Yep.
I got that spelling from a brother that I used to sing background for in a reggae band. His name is Azariel. He had Sound Rebeldom, which was a really dope reggae band many, many years ago. So one of my first introductions into reggae music was through his band. And when I first moved here, I used to go to open mics at a place, and it's still open, called Nappy by Nature. It's a natural hair salon. And so the owner of that salon, her name is Future. She gave me the name Jasira. So Jasira actually means bold.
Okay. All right.
So like bold queen.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, we get this amazing queen. Because when I look at you, that's what I get. It's like I get this queen here. Like your presentation, it speaks for itself.
Thank you.
So where you from? You born and raised Memphis?
No, I feel like I should claim Memphis by now because I've been here for like 16 years, since May of 2006. But I was born and raised in a small town in Aberdeen small town in Mississippi called Aberdeen.
Okay.
Have you heard of Aberdeen?
I have not.
Heard of Tupelo though, right?
I have.
Have you heard of Columbus, Mississippi?
I have.
Aberdeen is like right in the middle. If you're traveling from one to the other, you have to go through Aberdeen.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we welcome you. You a Memphian in my eyes.
I mean, yes, I am.
Okay. What about your family? Tell us about you growing up.
Oh, okay. So growing up, I had older parents. My mom was 40. My dad was 50 when I was born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They thought they were done. And I was like, nah,
Wow.
Y'all got one more in you.
Yeah.
You got one more. So I grew up with them, but I have before he married my mom, my dad already had been married before and had children. So I have two older sisters and a brother. And then with my mom, I have another older sister and an older brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that small town, I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. So that was pretty much my upbringing right up until, I moved here. I'm still on a spiritual path, but just different than how I was raised.
Okay.
And growing up, my mom and dad, their love story is they met in LA, and she was a motorcycle cop for the LAPD. And my father was a serial entrepreneur. That was just his life up until, retirement. And so they met at a Jehovah's Witness convention. It was time to sing. My dad didn't have a songbook, and my mom shared her songbook with him. And there goes history. So, after they married, my mom left LAPD, and she just stayed home and helped my dad with his many different businesses. My dad had several businesses, several successful ones. So she was his backbone and a stay-at-home mom with us.
Okay. All right. I like that. That's a real romantic story right there.
I like telling it.
I had a tear right there. That was real beautiful.
I ain't bring no tissue.
So tell us about how long did it take you to become the artist you are now? Like how long did it take you to find yourself in your music?
Yeah, I really didn't find myself until I moved here, because being a Jehovah's Witness, I couldn't do much of anything. You know, we don't celebrate birthdays or holidays or things of that nature. So pretty much I knew that I could sing.
Yeah.
And actually when I was in high school, I joined SAD, Students Against Drunk Driving. And so I knew I was a poet. So what I did was every week I used to write poetry around the theme of not driving drunk. And I used to write them on posters. You know, this was before social media, before everybody had the convenience of a phone.
Exactly.
So I used to write them on posters and just tape them up around the school. So it wasn't until I moved here and met, Future, who I was telling you about, when I was going to the spoken word nights at Nappy by Nature. She was also one of my introductions into reggae music. She had a reggae band that was called Future and Finger Pop. Okay. And so one day they just overheard me singing and they said, "Hey, want to sing background?" I was like, "Sure." I don't know anything about it. So I really had to learn it all. I didn't know anything about harmony, the different parts. I just knew that I could sing. So it wasn't until then, and it was just kind of flowed from there.
Well, let's dive a little deep into you just singing background. Who do you sing background for?
Okay, currently, but primarily I'm a solo artist at this point. My brethren Cypher, who you're gonna be interviewing soon,
I can't
hopefully.
Kind of nervous about that, but I'm ready.
Look, just be ready for big energy. That's all I can say. Just be ready.
Like. All right.
So I sing background for his shows when he needs me. We also tag team and do a lot of duet type reggae songs. And I also sing background for Chinese Connection Dub Embassy, which is also a premier reggae band here in Memphis.
Okay, they say when you sing, if you're not nervous, you lost your passion. Like it don't matter how long you've been doing it, you still should be nervous. When
you're right.
Do you have the same type of feeling when you're doing background?
Yeah, I still get nervous for whatever I'm about to do. Yeah. I still get nervous. Like I always have to pee.
Yeah, okay. I had another artist say that.
It never fails. Yeah. I always, like, right before I go on stage, I have to go use the bathroom. It's really crazy. So yeah, and I get nervous and I just have to, like, a lot of times in my performances, right before they call me up, like, you'll see me on the side of the stage, just like eyes closed, kneeling down, trying to get my nerves together, calling on my ancestors and whatever other guides are with me at the time. Hey, steady my voice. Let me channel this energy into my purpose. So yeah.
Once it come out, you good.
Yeah, like once the beat drop, I'm really good.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that you was in a group as well. Are you in, what's the name of your group?
The group that I've been in several groups. Okay. So I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Are
you in one currently?
No, it's just
what's the last?
It's just group me. The last, are we talking about reggae? Because the last
reggae.
Yeah, the last reggae group I was in was Ross Empress. Is that the group? Yes. So me and another sister, we used to be a part of a bigger reggae group called Kween Jasira, and it was 3 of us. Okay. And then from there it went to just 2 of us, and we were like, the group had been through so many changes at first that we were like, we were just gonna rebrand. Okay. And so we renamed ourselves. So first it was we ended up, what would we call it at first? It was Ross something else until we saw that was trademarked. Okay. So then we became Ross Empress, and yeah, we did that up until about 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. Yes. But yes, I was a part of that group. As like when you say I've been a part of a group called Deja Nique. I've been Queens of Zion. I've been
and during those times were you also a solo artist? It was just something you were doing on the side?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So it was all, hey, I've been a solo artist since like 06. Yeah, it's really when I started branching out on my own. And then of course as other opportunities came to form other groups or sing with other groups, I still did it because I love music and I love singing with different people. And honestly, though I am kind of like a solo artist that does a lot of, lead, of course, being a solo artist, I do actually prefer singing background. I love the harmonies and being able to create that way. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm new to the whole reggae world. I'm excited to learn and to dive in y'all world. I don't know if it's 2, but I know it's different types of reggae. What different types of reggae music is it?
I mean, you have lovers rock.
Okay.
You have dance hall. You have roots. So when you think about dance hall, that's like Sean Paul.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Roots is more like the Marleys, Bob Marley.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I'm
it's just
assuming
different
that's where you
vibes.
fall under.
I fall in between those two, primarily Roots.
Okay.
I'll dibble and dabble in a little lovers rock sometimes, but Roots is just really what calls to me. Dance hall for me is more so to dance to and have fun to and vibe to, like around the house or at a party. But as far as singing it, that's not really my flow.
Okay, yeah, I love your music and everything you have going on, but I'm gonna tell you what stood out the most.
What did?
The non-profit organization your family had.
You've been doing your homework.
Let's dive into that. I would love to know more about that and just to, tell people how they can, get in contact with you about that.
Yes, so my family, my sister actually thought it was a great idea. This was like in May of 2019. Our father was there were really 3 big things that he was, about community. He was about, education. So my father, he had Alzheimer's. He struggled with that for many, many, many years. And around that time, he was in his decline. And so my sister said, you know what? We should, create a foundation and give out a high school scholarship. And that was in 2019. May of 2019 was when we gave out our first scholarship. And our dad ended up transitioning in October that same year. So the name of the foundation is Demarian Sankofa Foundation. My middle name is Marion. That's my maiden name, Marion. So, and that's my family name, Marion.
Gotcha.
My father's name was Henry Earl Marion. And so what he did was all of his businesses were centered around the name Demarian, D-E. So the letter D for his wife and all of his children, and then a small letter E because, he was Henry Earl is his name. So he just kind of combined everything together.
Yeah.
And so Demarian Sankofa Foundation, Sankofa is an African term that means, give back. Don't forget where you came from. And if you Google Sankofa, it's represented by a bird, and the bird is looking back and it's retrieving something off of his back. So it's kind of like, go back and fetch it, meaning don't move forward without bringing people with you. Don't forget where you came from, give back. So that's our tenet. Yeah, so we started out, we did a couple of years, we're just doing one scholarship. And what we were focused on were high school seniors who were planning to major in a field where they would be of service to others, nurses, teachers, social work, etc. And then starting, that's 2019 and 2021. And then this year we gave out 2 academic scholarships. And also we started including community grants, community service grants to those who are boots on the ground, doing hard work in their communities. So so that's been the crux of what we've been doing since 2019. And also this year we actually partnered with Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Okay.
And we were able to give out thousands of dollars to a couple of groups. And so that was really exciting to be able to partner with them. And also this year we're looking to roll out a financial assistance program. My dad was known for paying people's rent, or because he owned some apartment buildings. So he sometimes don't even worry about the rent because he knew that they had it tough. So we want to roll out that program for families that are in need. And we also want to roll out a young entrepreneur program where we can kind of give young entrepreneurs seed money for their businesses. Because, a lot of the children that are growing up nowadays, they're not really interested in going to college. They're interested in just going into business for themselves and making it do what it do that way. So, so our website is it's DemarianSF.org. So DemarionsF.org. And I was about to give the email address, but it's info@DemarianSF.org.
Okay. Yeah, your dad sounds like an amazing person. I would have loved to have met him.
Man, he was
and you seem
amazing.
So passionate about it. Like when you started talking, you just lit up.
Yeah, my dad, that was my heart. So and I grew up. I didn't realize until he was gone and saw his obituary. I was like, wow, I was in the presence of greatness. And I didn't realize the level until everyone started reaching out and talking about how he impacted their lives. Because when you grow up with it, you just think that's the norm.
Exactly.
And so when you see that, that's not really the norm. He only had a 6th grade education. So, he was the man. And so I'm really thankful for him and, being able to be his daughter and carry his legacy forward.
This was up. I like it. Yeah, and since we on a positive note.
Yeah.
You also an advocate for children child abuse. Please dive into that.
Okay, so child sexual abuse is what I'm an advocate. I advocate for children in that regard. Unfortunately, I was a victim of child sexual abuse growing up. Of course, I had an amazing family. So, a lot of times those instances of child sexual abuse could be prevented if people just knew the facts. And one of the major facts is that 90% of children know who sexually abused them. So that's like your pastor, the teacher, the coach, or whatever. And so as parents, we think our children are safe because, hey, these are family friends. They work with children. They love children. So that was the case that happened with me. Is no knock, even though my mom and my dad, it hurt them when they found out. It's just, you didn't know. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm here for. So yes, I'm a very strong advocate because I'm sexually abused several times from the age of 9 to 15. Wow. And when I first got here, I wrote a poem about it because I was dating a guy at the time and he couldn't understand why I was like I was. Like if we would be playing, he would be tickling me and hold me down, like I would freak out. You know what I mean? Or why I wouldn't, like, no, my daughters can't be alone with you. You know what I mean? Even though we had been dating for a long time. So I wrote a poem and read it to him because I didn't know how to tell him. And so I read him the poem, and then, of course, he understood me a little bit more, and I decided to perform it at the open mic at Nappy by Nature. And so many people, men and women, came up to me afterwards.
You put it in a song, made it into a song, or you did the poetry?
I did it as a poem, but I actually did record it later as a song. And so many people were coming up to me, and I was like, whoa, and so when I started doing my research and finding all the facts, that 1 in 3 girls will be sexually abused by the time she's 18, 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by the time he's 18, and that our children have a greater chance of being sexually abused than their natural chance of being born left-handed. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm a strong advocate, because people need to know. And a lot of times people do know, but don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about their relative, at the family functions that everybody knows has been abusing the children. And also, the more I speak out, then the more that empowers other people to speak out and tell their stories, or just tell somebody, So yeah, I'm very passionate.
What's the poem your first time getting over that hump to being able to speak freely and express, what happened? That was your first time?
Yeah, because before I moved here, I was trying to do the going to counseling and stuff like that, but that didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. So it wasn't until I moved here and I wrote that poem was really the turning point. When I wrote that poem, and then I started also performing more. So music was definitely a healing part of that as well. So yeah, I would say that would be the turning point that really just empowered me to heal self. And then after I started getting to a good point, then I wanted to in turn help others.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Very inspirational. I swear, I like that.
Thanks.
Y'all know how we do it. Look, we gonna get straight to it. Look, this is the section of my show where we do a game, okay?
Okay.
Now, usually
you're making me nervous. Why are you laughing like that?
Usually my guests are scared at this point, but I'm a little more nervous because I just feel like I'm in the presence of royalty right now.
Oh man.
But I dumbed it down a little bit, but you get some cards in front of you. You're gonna flip each one. It's like 5 or 6 cards.
Okay.
You're gonna flip them one at a time. You're gonna read them into the mic and you're just gonna address each question. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We start with the first one.
All right. Let's go. What kind of outfits turn you on? I don't know if it's the outfit or the energy that the man has in the outfit. You know what I mean? You know how some people are turned on by uniforms and stuff?
Yeah.
It's really all about the energy in the outfit.
How they say the man make the clothes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's not really, I can't say I see an outfit, I'm like, ooh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't matter what it is.
It's how you carry yourself in the outfit.
It's how them gents.
How
they look on you. You know what I mean? Like how you walking with it, how you swag. And I'm like,
Okay.
Yeah. So not an outfit per se, but just the energy
that
you bringing in that outfit.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I like that answer. I like that. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
All right. Next one. What was your first kiss like? Okay. So my first kiss, I remember this like it was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
His name was Calvin Plant. So
his last name Plant?
Yes, Calvin Plant. And so we, when I first moved into the neighborhood where I ended up, spending most of my childhood, we were like, good friends because I was a tomboy. And so I used to play football, like, like tackling them, like,
Oh, okay.
Right. like that. And so then as we got older, and we started looking at each other differently. So I have a cousin, her name is Terry, and she's my first cousin, but my mom and dad adopted her. So me and Calvin, we was in the garage at my parents' house, and they were the lookouts to make sure that my parents weren't coming. And it was,
how old you were at this time?
I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in 6th grade, and so it was just a smack.
Yeah.
Now he tried to, when he did the thing with his tongue, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is that? Like, I didn't know. Yeah. I was a Jehovah's Witness, so no one had been talking to me about how this stuff goes. So yeah, I didn't like that part at first, So it didn't last that long because he tried to go down. I was like,
okay.
Yeah, back
he
up.
blew it.
Yeah, he did. He should just let work up to that.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, next one. Have you ever been arrested? What for? Woo. Now, yes, I have been arrested one time, and so I was like really, really militant at one point in my life, and so. We used to make waves. And so we became a target, actually, of MPD.
Wow.
So one day, again, this was when at Nappy by Nature. We used to just spend a lot of time there, outside of the open mic nights. And so we arrived there, and we always, like, I just usually, and I still do this a lot of times, not every time like I used to back then, like back into a parking spot just for security purposes. Yeah. That was our mindset. And so we backed into the security spot, and then like the police just kind of descended upon us. And it was like, we were known as the Nappy by Nature 5. I think if you Google it, you'll still see it. But yes, so why I was arrested was because the guy that I was dating at the time, he was in the back seat of the car. And this was when I realized, okay, this is kind of feels set up, like, because he was in the back of the car and he had the keys to the car that we were in. And so I was asked the officer, I said, can I go to the car and ask him where the keys are? And he said, yes. And when I walked up to the car, he said, you basically violated or you disobeyed a police officer. You're getting arrested. I was like, but you just told me I could, so that's when I was like, oh, okay. This like back some COINTELPRO, back what we heard with the FBI. That's what y'all on, you know what I'm saying? And I got arrested. And even when I was taken downtown and booked and, had to change into the clothes, like even the officers down there were like, that's a ticket at most, what you did. Why are you here? And they just couldn't believe it. So
wow. So you did about what, 10 years?
I broke up out of there. But no, I was like released the next day, and then eventually the charges were dropped against all of us. But it was 5 of us that got caught up in that situation.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go. Are there any body parts you feel insecure about? Let's see. Any body parts? It used to be my stomach. It used to be my stomach because, after having children.
It's kind of go-to for a woman. A lot of women,
Yeah, so I think it used to be my stomach. Right now, it's probably my arms, though. So I need to get in the gym because sometimes when I take pictures, I'm like, you looking kind of hefty.
Nah.
I think, but pictures and stuff add pounds. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe you just hard on yourself.
Yeah, but I think everything else is pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to go to the next one.
Yeah, last one.
Oh, last one. Okay. Talk about a time you hooked up. Tell about a time you hooked up with someone you weren't supposed to. All right. Okay, so.
she looking at your son. She looking like, don't forget here.
So, yes. So, I have 2 daughters. I mean, you see my son over there. I have 2 daughters.
The wrong clothes on. but it's okay. It should have been Cowboys. He get on. Just so y'all know, her son get on Steelers.
A full uniform.
I
mean, not just the jersey.
Yeah.
And did he bring the football? The football was down there. He got. Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't bring the helmet. Yeah. But yeah, so I was it's crazy. So okay, my youngest daughter, my middle child, I was married to her dad.
Okay.
So we divorced. Like, and like he left me for another woman. I'm just gonna put it all out there since we being transparent, right? But this had nothing to do with what I ended up doing. Okay. So in my hometown, you know, when you had to register the kids for school, we had, you know, we didn't have to go up to the school, but we went up to somewhere else. And so I was standing in line, you know, waiting to register my daughters. And one of his good friends was also in line with me, right? Like, it wasn't his best friend, but it was like they were really good friends.
Okay.
And so I'm not gonna say his name though.
Right.
But so yeah, we just started talking while standing in line. It was kind of like, reminds me how people be standing in line here in Memphis to get their car tags. It was like that type of line. You know what I mean? So we weren't going nowhere anytime fast.
Okay.
We just started chopping it up.
Yeah.
You know, because I just knew him from when he would come to the house to hang out with my ex-husband. And we never had conversation. You know, I never looked at him or nothing. So we in line and we just chitting and chatting and chatting and chitting. And
she like and
okay. So it just went from there, because again, this is before social media, so it was just kind of like we just started talking, and nothing came of that. I think we ran into each other somewhere else, and then boom, numbers were exchanged, and me and him like entered into a relationship. But it was crazy because he had a baby's mother, and me and her were kind of friends too. So yeah, it ended up being really messy, but but we had like a real soul tie. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It was just that, and we probably would have still been together today because it was actually genuine. It wasn't on no get back type stuff. But with our exes, of course, they flipped when they found out, and it just made things uncomfortable. Like if I went over to his folks' house and it just, so we couldn't, you know, they couldn't let us make it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can understand. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Let's get into Kween, the artist.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's start with your single, For Life. I love this song. I play it all the time. I've played it 100 times today.
Yeah, I like it
So if I wanted to perform it right now, I could, but I don't want to overshadow
it. Don't steal my thunder now.
So I ain't gonna do it.
Okay.
Let's jump into the single, For Life.
Okay.
Where did the inspiration come from for you writing this song?
The inspiration came just because I love love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always just loved my parents' love story. I've loved that my mom met him at 21. That's the only man she's ever been with. She's 82 now. Wow. That's the only man she's ever been with. Even when he was in the nursing home with Alzheimer's and had forgotten everyone else, he never forgot her.
Wow.
And she would go up there and she insisted on being the one to wash his clothes. Like, it's a nursing facility. They got washing machines, but she wanted to wash his clothes. She wanted to make sure that they was there to cut his beard the way that he always wanted it cut. That he was, you know, so they just had a really strong bond, and it feels like that's something that I know it's something that I've wanted, but it's also felt like something I've been looking for, you know, my whole life. So yeah, just the thought of love and being in love, struggling together but working through it, just knowing that, hey, you're my person, and no matter what, we're gonna be together for life. Like, no matter what, you know. Of course, not know if you beating on me or nothing like that, but just like, hey, we're gonna have contradictions, we're gonna be locked in struggle at times, so we're gonna work through it, because that's what relating happens. That's what happens when you're relating. So yeah, so that was the inspiration. I've picked up and stopped this music project that I'm working on, and so when I picked it up, I just reached out to a producer here that I've worked with before and said, hey, you know, can I come through and listen to some beats? And so yeah. And actually, the version of the song that you're hearing now, that's not the original version that I wrote. The original version came to me in a dream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and normally I keep a notepad by my bed, and when I get up, I try to write stuff. But I was like, oh, yeah, it was so strong in the dream. I was like, I'll remember it. Yeah. But I forgot it. Like, I think I woke up, I was running late for work or something. I was like, I'll remember this. Didn't have time to write it down. Didn't have time to voice record it. Forgot the whole thing. Wow. So this is like the second version of it.
I'm still fascinated about your parents. Like, if you can create a movie title for your parents' life, what would it be called?
A movie title for their life. It would be Divine. Just Divine. Okay. That's what I would call it. You know, the Divine, maybe. Put the in front of it to make it sound all dramatic. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what it was. I mean, they were otherworldly to me.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Divine. I had Swallow Jones up here. I'm not sure.
Swallow, I just saw him yesterday. I did a photo shoot yesterday.
Oh,
he
you
was
did?
there. Yeah, he was there getting some behind the scenes videos. Swallow's the man.
My boy, Swallow. How you have you done the shows with Keeping It Memphis?
No, I think we went there for like the open mic night, me and Cypher, and so we got on stage and we performed to a track. But as far as being a featured artist, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, Swavo.
Yeah. You working on in the music right now?
Yes. So the project that I was just telling you about that I pick up and put down. So I've got about 2/3 of it done now.
Okay.
And so the rest of it is really a live. I wanted to have like several tracks that was like a live band segment. So that's the part that remains. So trying to figure out what the rhythms are going to be for those. I know one of them, like For Life that you heard, we've actually made a reggae version of it.
Okay.
So yeah. So recording that and a couple of other things, like Cypher and I need to write, so probably put one of those tracks on there. So yeah, it's about 2/3 done, and that's what I'm working on right now.
How did you? What made you transition from? Did you start out as an R&B artist before reggae?
No, I actually started out reggae.
Oh, okay.
And then with reggae came other opportunities as people saw me singing. So a lot of times I would get called to do reggae, but I also do like you just heard with For Life. I also do R&B, neo soul type stuff too. And so one of the groups that I used to be in called V3, it was 3 of us. So it's like Voices 3 is what it stood for, and that's when I would really get into like R&B, and I might throw a little reggae song in there now and again. But yeah, reggae has been it primarily, but it just kind of like it felt like it was the default because of how I started out. But yeah, I do other stuff, and that's what this project is going to be, a mixture of other stuff, not just reggae.
Okay, you get a title for it?
The title is In My Element.
Okay.
So that was important to me just because it's like, I don't box me into just reggae. You know what I mean? Like I want to do other stuff. I do spoken word. I do neo soul.
You consider yourself just an artist. You're not like a regular artist.
I don't like being boxed. I don't like being painted into a corner or don't put me in a box. I just I want to be in my element, and whatever that feels like.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna get. You might get reggae. You might get spoken word. Just let it flow.
I'm gonna tell you something. I always have a conversation I always have with my guests when they come up here. I know I beat it like a drum.
Okay.
But support is just it's big to me. And I always just want to get people outlook on support and how they view support.
Yeah.
Not just from fans and followers, but from your inner circle, from your family, your friends. Like, how do you view support, and how important is it to you?
Well, support is very important. Like for me, I'm going to do what I do, whether it's 5 people in the crowd or 5,000, whether I have to do it alone or whether or not I have people that are supporting me, because it's my calling, like it's my purpose. So if I don't do it, then I feel like I start dying. Like it's really hard to explain. Like it's a physical crumbling that happens when I don't walk in my purpose when it comes to music. So, but support, of course, is everything. Of course, you want to look in the crowd and see a lot of people there supporting you. Of course, you want to have your family and friends supporting you. It's definitely like one of my things I say all the time is it takes a village, but support also looks like giving support. So that's why I support other artists. I don't have to be on the ticket to come to your show, like, so giving support, receiving support, and then just being surrounded by the positive energy of people who just want to see you shine, and those being willing to help you with that. I think it's huge. I think, of course, anyone can do anything, walk alone, but I think, of course, when you have a strong village, a strong support system behind you, it makes it that much better for you.
And you're a very big inspiration. So, I mean, to the young artists who's out here listening to you, listening to For Life, watching you, coming to your shows, that's wanted to pursue music, what would you say to these young artists?
I would say, like, for me, I oftentimes think about, man, what if I had been allowed to shine my light when I was a kid, when I knew that I could sing? Or what if I think about a lot of what ifs, because I see how well things are going now. I'm like, man, what if? It could have been so much more. But definitely grateful that I'm where I am. I'm just, reminiscing. So I would say to those young ones that are pursuing music or whatever it is that they're pursuing, like, go at it hard.
Yeah.
Go at it hard. Listen, like, the biggest support is within. You have to start within and listen to that voice. Like, that's the voice you need to listen to, because it will never steer you wrong. Don't be afraid to do anything different that's not being done before, that hasn't been done before. Don't be worried about if people will like it. If you're moved to do it, then do it. And don't stop when you get a no. Like, I got several no's. I remember one time I got a no in the most embarrassing way in front of a bunch of people by a guy when I was auditioning for one of his shows. And this guy several years later came back and asked me to perform at his show. You know what I mean? So, like, don't let a no stop you. You know, just let a no motivate you.
What made it embarrassing? I'm just curious about that.
Okay, so I went to audition for his show, and I took the guy that I was dating at the time, the same one I told you about that I wrote the poem. So he was a big poet in Memphis at the time. You know, well known. He was a singer. So I'm telling him, like, hey, I think I want to sing. This is my first time really trying to go out and sing lead. So I was like, hey, I want to do this. Can you come with me to the audition? Because I'm nervous. So, I mean, my audition wasn't good. I'll give that, because it was my first time doing this. So my voice was kind of shaky. I was really nervous. So I knew I didn't get it. But after I sat down, he went on a rant. He was like, well, you know, when you come into audition here, you got to come in and you got to own it. You got to, you know, like, don't be wasting my time, blah, blah. So then he said, you know, brother, you know, the brother's name, you know, come up here and I want you to come up here and I want you to perform something. And so he did, you know what I mean? And as soon as he got through performing, he was like, can you be on the show? And that was like so embarrassing, you know what I mean? It was like, and so the guy that I was dating, he was like, dang, that's crazy. You know, he's like, I'm gonna perform whenever someone asks me to perform, but I didn't expect him to ask me to be on the show that you really wanted to be on. So that was like,
years later, fast forward, when he asked you, did y'all have that conversation?
I told him no.
You told him no? Oh, okay. I thought you did the show. Okay.
No, I didn't do the show. I said no.
You did, but you didn't bring up the reason. Why did you bring up that moment?
Yes, I did. I told him, I said it's I can count how many times on one hand that things have happened that have absolutely crushed me as an artist and have made me like stop or not go on. And I told him, you were one of those. Like, you were very cruel, you know, to go on that rant after I got through auditioning and then ask the person that was accompanying me to the audition to be on the show instead.
Did he do it?
Did he do it? No.
Oh, okay.
He was like, no, I got your back. He was like, I'm not. He was like, that was wrong. He said, I didn't know that was going to lead to that. So, no. Wow. Yeah. He didn't do it, and I don't think we ever went to any one of that guy's shows again.
Wow. Yeah, well, at least you was able to get that off your chest.
Yeah. I told him. And actually,
during a moment where he needed you, so that made it even better. You know?
And actually, one of the guys that was in his band that was there at the audition, he reached out to me afterwards, and he said, I see potential in you. And so he had me come, because he had like a studio kind of like this, and he had me come in and we just started singing together. And I still, whenever he calls me, I'll still sing with him. But some of my biggest singing opportunities, as far as when I told you V3 or singing Neo Soul, came from the brother who witnessed, you know, this other brother. Yeah. He was like, yeah, that was wrong. And I didn't even know him before that day. So he just reached out to me. Exactly.
You never know.
That right there opened up so many opportunities, because him mistreating me had this brother reach out to me, and that a lot of my performances came from this other brother. Yeah.
Yep. Everything happened for a reason.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Let everybody know what you got coming up. Let everybody know where they can find you. I really appreciate you coming to the Straight to a Podcast, listeners, with your presence. Let everybody know what you got coming up.
Okay, so the big thing is reggae. Memphis, reggae at the Shed.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is going to be on October 30th. There's some dope artists. So at 4 p.m. you have Donon, one of Memphis's premier drummers. I've worked with him several times.
Okay.
And then the other brother that's coming up, his name is Jay Pears.
Okay.
He's a reggae artist as well. That'll be at 5 p.m.
This on Halloween?
The day before Halloween. And then there's me at 6 p.m. So that's the biggest. So that's the biggest thing that I have coming up right now. And it's at Carolina Watershed, October the 30th. It's also come in costume, because they're having a costume contest.
Okay.
Yep. So come in costume. And yeah, so like I mentioned, I'm working on a project right now. And as far as following me, Kween Jasira, Kween Jasira. That's on Facebook. You can also look me up by that name on YouTube, because I have I'll be putting music videos up there, live performance videos up there.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram, I'm Kween, again, KWEEN, the number 2 and the letter U. So Kween to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate you having me. This was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed you. Yeah. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
And
if you don't hit that notification bell, there's no way you're going to know when I drop a video. Look, y'all know how we do it. We're going to get out here. We're going to get straight to it.
Teach me something every day. Move me in a major way. I was gray, rainy, drenched by my own oblivion, spiraling down, down, down. Then you came, dipped in sunshine, you brought me in from the rain. Introductions were made, handshakes exchanged, a touch which sent lightning bolts and became the blood which runs through my veins.